in our parents' age and in our grandparents' age, they were having children by the time they were 25. 30 was late.
Yeah.
And now women are building their careers, they're building their families, family in terms of with their husbands before they decide to have a family.
So basically you would say this is a very successful process in South Africa, and if you are trying to start a family, think about it.
I think the issues that we need to clear our mind of as South Africans is the cultural mindset.
Yeah.
A lot of South Africans are still stuck in the mind that they can't get egg donations, or they can't spend donors, and that is delaying their process of building their families. We need to start supporting initiatives like Dawn's initiatives, where we create extensive awareness to remove that stigma of cultural to say that we can't. Technology now, it's so advanced that every woman or every couple that would like to have a family can be able to be assisted. Obviously, in life there aren't any guarantees. All that we're doing to strive to have our families, it's trying your level best, so that when your level best fails, you know that you have exhausted all the expertise that are there.
Dawn, in terms of just checking, people go for regular medical checks. Would you advise young women to just check if they are fertile, they're ready to have a baby, even if they're not trying to conceive?
It's a very good question.
And for you, Rakhadi, if you had a daughter, would you discuss this maybe when they get to varsity or when they're just about to finish, to say, young lady, these are the things you need to look at?
I tend to feel that as South Africans we are reactive as opposed to being proactive. And perhaps a lack of knowledge is partly to blame for that in the field of infertility. But I certainly recommend to my friends, and I would recommend to women out there, if you're 30 or older and you're planning on still having children, rather be proactive. Go and see a fertility specialist, have the blood tests and the necessary physical examinations, and get a yes, I'm fine, or get a, your levels are starting to decrease in terms of fertility. You should be looking at the option of, for example, freezing your eggs, or if you are ready, rather start a family sooner than later. But we don't tend to do that. We tend to wait until there's a problem, and then we are reactive about, well, now how can I fix this problem? And I think if that's the biggest message, from Gift of Life, if we can send out dealing with infertility on a daily basis, is go and get yourself checked.
Well, we hope that our viewers will be learning and picking up, information, and we'll continue talking to you, especially on this particular issue on fertility and infertility. So Mandla, if you just became a dad, and you were told no paternity leave for you, dude, what will you do?
No paternity leave?
Oh yeah?
That's not fair.
Remember, I know you want 3 months. We get 3 months.
Only 3 months?
3 months for me?
No, it's got to be 6
3
months.
days for you, and that's for the year.
Only 3 days?
Oh yeah?
I could be traveling from KZN to Joburg. I could finish the 3 days on the road.
That will actually be your own problem.
By bus.
Okay, the government says to you, good, you've got 3 months. What will you do with the 3 months?
I said, please, government, how about another 3? Seriously.
Oh, Manza. What are you going to do with the 6 months now? You've got 6 months.
New baby, a home to look after, and a wife who wants to relax. I got enough time. I could get some private time with my wife as well. Well, I think these things should be negotiable.
Well, Mandla, let's find out what the law has to say about this.
Guys, tell me, if you're given 3 months of paternity leave, how do you feel about it?
Well, it will be great, I think, because it will even give you more time to help with the wife while she's still nurturing the baby, and help around the house.
Well, I will agree with him, but it will be open to some abuse, because you'll be tempted to do other things within that 3 months which have nothing to do with the baby. So I guess it will be up to an individual as to how they behave.
It is fair in the sense that you're helping your partner in whatever that she has to go through, particularly during the maternity leave, which can be given to a woman. In terms of paternity leave, the existence of paternity leave is basically emanating from the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. But the law that I just referred to, which is the Basic Conditions, we normally refer to it as a BCEA. Now, that law does not refer to it as a paternity leave. It talks about family responsibility leave. Yeah, with the family responsibility leave, that the law says is 3 days per year. Only 3 days. Unfortunately, that's the status with regard to the law. This specific section that deals with that is section 27 of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. In the event that they have to make use of days of work in order to make sure that they discharge their family responsibility duties, the law obviously will revert to that family responsibility leave as outlined in section 27. Now, as I've just said, you only have 3 days per year, and for others, depending on what you face, it may not be enough.
There are many parents who have or are preparing for twins, triplets, and hopefully for more. So today we're talking to these parents and find out if it's double the trouble or triple the fun.
Marion, with your boys, do you see a big difference in them at this age, in their personalities, or are they still too young for you to be able to tell that?
They are so different in some ways, but in other ways they are so alike. They look different, but they like the same toys and they like the same food, and they seem to have the same interests in general. Regan was definitely more sickly than Braden was, but nothing serious luckily. Did you have anyone who was more sickly?
Yeah. Look, I think the issue with triplets is that they tend to be born premature. So we kind of have, you had this as well, Janice, they are much more at risk, and so they need a lot more help and care. And Katie was my littlest, and she definitely had some small problems with reflux, which then caused her to have ear infections, and she had her tonsils out very early. She had her tonsils out at 2.5, which improved her enormously once we did that. Marion, I've got something I really want to ask you. Your 2 elder boys you delivered with natural birth, and then you had to have a C-section with the twins. Why was that?
I think it comes down to the medical staff and their requirements. No problems with naturals for single babies, but as soon as they hear the word multiples, they want to do C-sections. I think it's safer for everyone involved, and I think the doctors find it's a much preferred option in South Africa.
But how was it for you?
It was tough because the natural birth you heal within a day or two and you're up and going and part of everything, whereas the multiples, I felt I was a bit out of it for a while. Couldn't bend down and bath them. It wasn't so easy to carry 2 at the same time, so it definitely was harder than when I had the natural birth. You had a C-section also. What was it like for you?
Yeah, look, it wasn't a great experience for me, but it wasn't to do with the children or anything like that. The children needed to come by C-section, and I wasn't particularly well, but it was the best thing possible. The children get taken to the doctor immediately. It's very, very quick. The babies are in their best care possible, and they're whisked away to the ICU, and then the doctor's left to sort me out. And it's fine. That's fine.
Can you imagine pushing 3 out?
Not for me. That would never work. But what about you, Amanda? How did you do? I mean, how long did you manage to carry the girls for?
I gave birth by cesarean. It was actually very early for me, so I wasn't even waiting or expecting that I would go into prem labor. But my gynae had told me like 3 weeks earlier that chances are I will actually go into prem labor. So I thought, okay, I could do 32 weeks or so, but I actually gave birth at 27 weeks. But after about 4 weeks, I actually took some time out, a couple of days, and I went to just rest. But I promise you, I slept straight for 3 days. Didn't wake up. Only woke up to eat and slept, and that's just how exhausted I was.
If I don't get my sleep and if I don't rest, I need to ask for help. People need to come and
You need help. And you need your priority list. Your priority list really starts to become very important.
Yeah.
A lot of little things seem to fall by the wayside, and I think it would be nice if other people would just understand that.
Yeah.
That our days are overwhelming.
Can I have ice cream?
Hi, honey. You want ice cream?
They wear the same clothes, and they live in the same houses, and they oh man, I know what twins are, because you two live with each other. Yeah. Very good, your mom's twins. Yeah. Me and Thomas are twins. Triplets is chips. Chocolate.
What do you think triplets are?
Triplets are like hamsters.
That's all for today. Join us next week as we discuss nutrition as well as different birthing methods. We also go swimming with your baby. We then look at some tiny little babies. Goodbye.